Can electricity be produced with electricity? The video you will see features new and unique technology that has made power generation by itself. This technology virtually boosts the power of your input AC or DC by about 3 to 3.4 times its primary input power. In addition to this new technology, it does not use any external power sources such as a fuel motor or a battery bank, etc. to boost its electrical energy, which receives its single phase or three phases input, and the system itself, individually, boosts its input power by up to 3.4 times the peak. Let's start with a real test of this technology, precise measurement of input power. At the beginning of the test, we measure the voltage, DC, of the device's primary power supply with a multimeter. At this point in our test, our multimeter shows a precise value of 12.23 volts DC. We used shunt resistors to measure the system current consumption from the incoming DC power supply. Ohm's law formula. The DC current generates a voltage of millivolts across the resistor when passing the shunt resistor, which we used in this test was 0.01 R 5-watt shunt resistor. Therefore, according to the formula above, the system current consumption is between 1.90 and 2.30 amperes. Because of the fluctuation of the current during measurement, we need to measure the average current value to calculate the actual current consumption of the systems, which is 2.1 amperes at this stage of the test. Therefore, the actual power consumption of the system 25.683 volts amperes, watt-second. To accurately measure the output power, we need to measure the effective output pulse of the device, which is charging the battery, due to the specific mechanism of the device, with a grounding wire. Here, we already wire the ground wire to the side of the lab table. This wire is really connected to the ground of the building. As you can see, we put the phase meter on it. We know that the potential difference of the earth is 0, so the phase meter is not lit. The device is currently charging at 12 volts 7.5 amp hour, which is 90 watt-hour battery. Put one end of the probe multimeter on the positive terminal of the battery, and the other end of the probe multimeter on the ground wire. At this point in our test, our multimeter shows an exact value of 106 volts AC. To measure the output current of the device, which is charging in the form of an AC pulse on the battery, we use the AC clamp, which at this point in the test shows an accurate value of 0.74 ampere. Power calculation formula. So the output power of the device is 78.44 watts. In fact, it charges a 12-volt 7.5 amp hour battery with 87% of its total capacity. To really show this battery is charging, we measure the voltage at the two ends of the battery terminals with a multimeter. The 12 volts battery shows a value of 13.33 volts, which is 12 volts in normal terminal voltage. As we know that the battery is only charging, its two-terminal voltage can reach 13 to 14 volts. We show you the model and brand of power supply used in this test. Now I'll show you around and below the device to make sure there are no hidden wires or cables. This box contains an emerging technology, which boosts its input power by up to 3.4 times its overall efficiency of 300%, and distributes and consumes amplified output power. In a nutshell, let's take a look at a small part of the device's power output calculations.